Sometimes the easiest way to improve your trades is by going through your trade history and seeing which currency pairs are not working for you. And that is exactly what we're going to do in this video and review my trade history on a few of my accounts. And by the way, anybody who is providing Forex education or tips and strategies on how to trade Forex should have public accounts for people to review. So if you're following somebody on YouTube who does not have a public account that you guys can see just how well of a trader they are, I don't recommend following that person. Doing little screenshots like this, these don't mean anything. They don't say anything about how well of a trader that person is. They don't give you enough information to determine, is this somebody that I should be taking advice from? And the reality is, it's okay to be honest with your performance. You're not going to have a winning month every single month. You're not going to have a winning week every single week. Professional traders have losses. Banks have losses. Central banks have losses. Everyone has losses. The difference between a professional trader and an amateur trader is professional traders always recover and find a way to be profitable. And we're going to look at that process so that you guys can start doing some of these things in your own. And you might find that all you have to do is maybe stop trading certain pairs and your profit margins will shoot through the roof. Okay, so the first account we're going to look at is this one right here. Okay, so this right here is one of my accounts. It's called Blessed Trader, and you can see that this is on MQL5 as well. And this is available to anybody. If you have an account on MQL5, you can see more information like the stats. It's free to do so. And besides, most people already have a MQL5. Every time you download a MetaTrader 4 or a MetaTrader 5, it directs you to this site. And once you create an account, you can see all the details of my account. And if you look on the left-hand side as well, and you click on See More, you can also see all of my accounts. Okay, so the first thing that I want to show you here is statistics. This is by far the most important tab that you should be aware of because this is going to break down everything that you need to know. All right, so your distribution, okay, this is telling you the currency pairs that you trade and how many trades you have done on those currency pairs. So when I tell you guys that I am a prolific gold trader, I'm not lying. I mean, you guys can see this in comparison to the other currencies that I trade. I trade a lot on gold. Okay. And then you can see the gross profit and you can see which currency pairs that I don't trade that well on. And it makes sense why I don't trade certain currency pairs. And then if you go down to the next area right here, you can see the profit. So, I mean, I am up on gold by 10,000 pips. So that's pretty substantial. And I believe this is the oldest account that I have. So I've been trading gold for many years. It has just recently, gold has been challenging to trade. And I think that's because of the volatility with the US dollar. With everything that's going on with the Fed, it's created a lot of uncertainty with the US dollar, which is also going to drastically affect gold. So I think that's one of the reasons why gold has been tricky to trade. But it's still the biggest moneymaker out there. All right. Now, another thing that I want you guys to be aware of is don't pay attention to the maximum drawdown. Go to where it says risk. Okay. For some reason, MQL5 has a weird way of calculating the maximum drawdown. So if you click on the risk and then you go to drawdown, this way you can actually see what your daily drawdown is. And when you have a small account, you're going to have to be aggressive. Okay. So your drawdown is going to be, higher than you would like most of the time, especially if you're trying to grow it. Because, if you have a balance of $100, for example, $1 is 1%. So you just risking $5 is 5%, right? So even though it may not be a lot of money, when MQL5 tracks it, then it obviously looks bad. So I encourage you guys to look at this part of your account. Everyone should have an account on MQL5. So another thing that I love about MQL5 is they don't allow demo accounts, and so all accounts must be a live account. So you have a lot of companies out there who give out absolute trash. I mean, there's so many people that will have a strategy test for their account, and it's not even based on demo trades. So a lot of people look at that information and they think, "Oh wow, the results are amazing," and they don't realize that none of the trades are actual real. So if you use MQL5, it must be a live account. That right there already tells you so much, because any account you see here, that trader is using real money. Okay, so when you look at here, when you go through this, you can actually see what the drawdown is, and you can see that the drawdown, for the most part, on this account is always very low. I'm never at a 22% drawdown, and you can see here, if you look at this graph, if you look at the beginning, that's where you started, and then you can see the trajectory of the performance of the account. And you can see this account has never been that negative. It was down a little bit, like 4%, but then after that, it just stayed in the green the whole entire time. And by the way, on this particular account, the initial deposit was 1531, and there were 1,700 in withdrawals. So all the money that you see here is all profit. This is all market money. So even if I blew this account, I didn't lose anything, because I already secured almost $200 on this particular account. So this is all market money right here. Okay. And so what I recommend you guys first do, check out which currencies you guys are trading the best at and which ones you're trading the worst at. So if you are trading well with some currency pairs, trade bigger and trade those currencies more often. If you are struggling with some currencies, don't trade those, right? Because it doesn't make sense. So we're going to look at a couple of my accounts here, full transparency. So let's go ahead and click on see more. And then this way we can see all of my accounts. So if I click on my signals and then I click on all signals, so we can see all of my accounts. So there are still a couple accounts that are in the red that I'm working through. It's just been a very difficult market. And let's look at this one right here. This one's down 13%. This one is my largest account by far, with a balance of 57,000. And now, even though this is down 13%, $7,500, it might look bad, but this account has a daily target between $5,000 to $15,000. So one good day of me hitting my targets, and then this account will be back in the green. Because of the balance, I can be a little bit more aggressive with this account. But let's look at the stats on this one and see where I have gone wrong. Now, because this account is a little bit is newer than the other one, it kind of got a bad rap on when the market started going to crap when Trump took office. So we can see here, you know, 386 trades on gold. Massive, right? And we can also see the problem here. So, 2.4 thousand of that has been on gold with the losses. And I was able to clean things up a little bit and reduce my trades on other currencies that weren't trading too well. Uh, and what I really kind of regret that I didn't do sooner is I wish I had paid more attention to this. Because if you look at this, like, I mean, on this particular account, I was literally struggling on like every single currency pair except the pound Japanese yen. So had I stopped fooling around with these other currencies and just focused on the Japanese yen or the pound Japanese yen, man, my profits would have skyrocketed. But I was spending too much time on gold when gold wasn't really trading well, and that just made so many losses that were unnecessary. But now that gold and the market is is coming back together a little bit. So I think it's going to get a little better. And if you guys saw my recent video with the forecasting indicator, that strategy is working pretty well. The only change is that it's not making big moves right away. So you might be stuck in trades for the entire day if you're trading gold. But I'll briefly go to that in a second, just so you guys can have a visual on that. So this is going to change real fast, okay? And I'm not really worried about it too much. So pay attention to the trade history, the stats, the risk, and I think you guys will find that things will work out much better for you. Just you know, I did like this little comparison where if I just stop my losses, my profit margins will just go through the roof. So even if that means taking smaller profits, that's much better than having more losses. Okay. All right. And I'm going to have a link to an account in the description of this video that you guys can look at. And then guys can see all my accounts. And by the way, I already have this on my YouTube channel. Okay. So when you go to my YouTube channel, this should be what it looks like on the landing page. Right here is a link to my to one of my public accounts. So all you have to do is click on this link, and when you do that, one of my accounts is going to pop up. So if you're not logged in, this is what you're going to be able to see, which is pretty much. I think you can see everything. All right, so yeah, so this is me not being logged in, and you can see everything. All right, so just keep that in mind. If you want to know more about my program, this video that you see right here, that talks all about my Forex program. And if you go to my website, strive to be one fx.com, there's even more information there as well. And I also have a link to my website right here as well. Okay, so that's how you can easily find my accounts. All right, now just to piggyback on gold real quick. Uh, if you watch the last video that I made with the forecasting indicator, then you will know that there's three important times of the day to trade, and this is in Eastern time, right? So 10 a.m., 7 a.m., and 10 p.m. And that is if you're trading gold. So if you're trading, currency pairs, you have a little bit more options, but it's absolutely critical that you're trading gold around these times if you want the best entry. And 7 a.m. is by far the best time to trade gold. And that's usually when you're going to see the lowest or the highest point of the day. Now, before May, gold was really good about making, 100 or 200 pips within like an hour. So like between like 10 to like 11 or 7 to 8:30 or 7 to 9, you were able to make your money real quick and, be done if you wanted to. But the market conditions have changed so much that you're going to have to be in trades like literally hours. And that's just, not the norm when it comes to trading gold. So one of the things I recommend you guys do, and that's if you're trading currency pairs and gold, hold your trades longer and be more patient and just, find ways to distract yourself. You don't want to be sitting here staring at this. So it's going to drive you crazy. But I promise you, if you guys stick to these time frames and, if you have the lowest or the highest point of that day and you buy and you sell at those times and you get it right, the odds are you're going to be fine. So for example, at 10 o'clock p.m., this was pretty much the lowest point of the day, right? So, if you bought around this area, 34 or 08, and maybe use the 3400 for the stop loss, your trade would have been fine even throughout the London session and the Europe session. And then when the US session started, you would have saw the move that you were hoping for. But look how long it would have taken for you to really make some, good money, right? That's like half the day of you holding on to your trades. And then this would have been a hard trade to find because it's already so high. And this was a previous resistance area. So it would have been hard for you to buy here. And then, you have so much other factors telling you that the price is probably going to drop. But if you had your entry at 7 a.m., then you could have, used maybe 34.16 or 34.15 as your stop loss and then saw it happen and kept your take profit open. And then, you could have rode this whole entire ride. But, that would be a long day of you looking at the charts. But it is more fun to look at the charts when you're in a winning trade versus a losing trade. All right. And then if I just click on this, we can click on, we can see some other stuff here. So, I mean, I find this to be very helpful. And it works very well. The most important thing is just getting the times of the day right and being super patient. Okay. Well, that covers it for this video. I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, please let me know. All right. See you guys next video. And thanks for subscribing.